requires for its life, how critical that is in its first hours, or its first days, or its first weeks, to its existence on this planet. It doesn't come into this world and then get put somewhere, and nobody deals with it. And even if the baby's developed prematurely and comes into this world earlier than anticipated, it requires even more help, but it still can grow up to become an absolutely productive human being and contributor to mankind and society. Right? Right. Correct. Yeah. So we have people that we bring into this business, but I want you to think back to the last one or the last 5 people that you've sponsored, and I want you to ask yourself, if you treated that person like a newborn coming into this business, they have no idea how to walk, they have no idea how to even eat, they have no idea the magnitude of the message that we're part of, they have no idea the magnitude of our sustainability trips and 7 continents in 7 years. And as Henri said, keep it simple. And our desire is to want to share all of this with somebody immediately, but then as Bob Q always says too, spaced repetition is the key to retention. So you want to space things out over time, much like you wouldn't put a newborn into a PhD class in its 2nd day on Earth. Right? You wouldn't do that. So I want to kind of give you a visual there to think about the importance of this. And as we raise these children, as we raise these associates, as you raise these team members in your business, when they reach certain ranks, director, senior director, executive director, partner, and at those points in time they become self-sufficient people that are now prepared to have their own children, groom them, mentor them, and then bring them through the ranks as well. And that's how this whole world continues to evolve. It's through duplication and reproduction. I happen to come from a family where I have 28 cousins on my mom's side, which is the Kennedy brothers, and so my grandparents were very good, obviously, at duplicating. And they trained duplication pretty well. So I'm going to hand it over to Tom because the resource kit that Maurice, and congratulations again to Maurice, another round of applause for Maurice, and the rest of the people that were involved with putting that together. This tool right here is going to transform your business. Absolutely. So I'm going to hand it over to my boy TK to go through some of the key parts of that.
Yes, please. I don't know if you guys all know, I mentioned this at the Thursday meeting. I'm from a family of 8 children, and my mother said, well, you know, the older ones help the younger ones. And my dad said, well, actually, son, we started as Catholics with the rhythm method and ended up with the rhythm band. But anyway, but the duplication process is critical. Who has sponsored an associate here? Please raise your hand. Who of those associates that you sponsored know how to read? Very good, good. We're on the right track here because what we're going to do and what I'm going to do going forward now that I have the tools here, I'm going to ask the associate if they have read the tools, if they've read the resource guide. I'm going to probably repeat that question 150,000 times in my learning career because I'm not going to be able to say it any better than that resource guide. I'm not going to be able to give you a quick memory test here of the written why and doing the things because I can teach this to you in a couple minutes and I can say these words. You're probably not going to remember a lot of what I say. And you're not going to, the people that are listening to you, they're not going to remember what you say either. It's not because you're not nice and intelligent, you're just not going to remember. The gentleman that just got in our business, Brian Cooney, got in on the 7th of January. He has as much ability to build this business, Brian, by the way, as I do and as anybody that's grown to be Platinum Partner Ambassador level. You know why? Because of that tool. It level sets everything. If Brian and I are both standing and the gentleman said, okay, we would like you to screw in a screw into the wall, and we both had power tools, and we both walked up to the wall and used the power tool, would there be a discrepancy upon whether he had a power tool, we had the same power tool? Would we be able to get the job done? Only if I didn't turn it on or use it properly, or maybe there's a second or two there. This resource guide, ladies and gentlemen, is a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. The things that you're going to learn, I don't know, the things that you're going to learn are critical to the business. It's like when you went to work for the first day, did they say, yeah, just go to the office and check up with you on the 4th quarter? No, you're going to walk in and they're going to show you the truth, this, that, and the other thing. Here's how you get into your back office. This is how you get paid. HR to get you information. This is a business. These are the things that are going to guide you. You're not going to remember what I said today. But I hope you remember that Brian and I have the same ability to grow our businesses now. When you're calling me now, anybody's calling me, and they say, hey TK, how do you do such and such? I'll say, have you read the third section of the resource guide? If they say yes, I'll say, fantastic. What, did you find your answer in there? I don't think, why don't you go ahead and reread that, and then call me back? Because I don't have a lot of time, and so why would I want to reteach that? It's in its excellent form. Why would I want to use a screwdriver when I have a power drill? Why would Brian want to use a screwdriver when he has access to the power drill? So this is, I repeat, a game changer. I am a real simpleton. I like to know step one, step two, that's what I like to do. Nice and slow, repetitive, easy. And so when people are calling me now, I am so much more relaxed that I don't have to try to remember, well, what did I tell them last time? Is that different from last month? Is it going to be different from what they heard on stage? So, the resource guide. Has anybody heard me say anything about the resource guide yet? Because again, folks, I can read those slides and I can hammer that with you, but you're not going to remember it. You're going to take the what? Let me turn it back to Mike.
So I just want to say, in closing this section up here, one of the best ways that you can actually get somebody to follow a process is what? How do you think you can get somebody to follow a process that you lay out for them? You can do it too. But how do you get somebody to follow you? How do you get somebody to follow a process? You teach them. You have to earn that trust. Right? You have to earn that relationship. You have to build that. And that's what takes time. You have to develop that rapport. And you have to figure out, going back to the first slide here, you got to figure out why they're in this business. You have to figure those things out before anything else. You got to figure out these key ingredients here. And as Q always says too, the 3 C's we look for, I hope I don't mess it up, but you want somebody who is going to be coachable ultimately, and who is committed, right? And they are have high character. And so when you're sitting with that person, you ultimately want to figure out what's important to them. Because every time they deviate from this task and this process, you can bring them right back on track by going back to what's important to them. And I heard that a plane is off track from LA to New York 99% of the time. Right? 99% of that trip, the plane is off track. And they have a reticular activating system built into the plane that re-navigates it constantly all the way throughout that journey, so that it ultimately ends up back in the orbit. So we as people are capable of the same exact thing. And we are deviating from our life, and we're following this little shiny object consistently. We get distracted by emails, phone calls, emergencies, family, friends, and so on, all day. So without a process in place to follow, we're left to our own devices. We're not going to be as successful as we could be with this. So
I sponsored 33 people myself personally. Guess what I'm making right now? I'm making phone calls to them. Now, I sponsored some of these guys 2.5 years ago. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call them up and we're going to get started. Just because I didn't do it the right way the first time, I'm going to do it right the second time. So don't think that because you've already got an associate started that you can't start the resource guide. Hey, come on in. We've got a new version of the software. We're going to start you on that. This is what companies do every day. We're going to start people on this resource guide. I'm going to ask them, hey, would you like to jump into a business that will much farther down the road? I have a guide that will help you know step 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. If not, no problem. It doesn't have to be just those brand new people that you're doing this with. You can go right back to the cornfield, a lot of corn in there. Thank you very much.